The conversation just got...
It's Tuesday morning on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Tokwe Mark Odige, and with me, as usual, are my co-host, Mariam in the building. How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
All natural. Everything is brown.
Oh, okay.
Brown skin girl. That's the vibe I'm getting from you right now. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Yesterday, I was really touched. Someone reached out to me. I met the person in 2021. I hadn't spoken to her in a while, and she said that there's a school, and they're doing like a book week, and she wanted me to come and read to their school and just teach them, their kids, about the environment. I was like, but we haven't spoken. How do you remember? She says, I've been keeping watch on what you're doing, and you know, and also asking for advice. So it just made me feel grateful, you know, that sometimes just do you, and the world is watching, and wherever it needs to align will align. So it just made me feel.
It's very powerful.
A part of my back, well done.
It's very powerful.
Yeah.
Many times I think nobody is saying it, but you just consistently be doing. Nima, what a go on? Did I burst the bubble and tell them what you were doing this morning?
Oh, okay. Yes, Patton gave me a father rice, so I'm still chewing. But
so that's something I haven't figured out how to enjoy yet.
Father.
Yes, I want to get past the smell and the look.
Oh yeah.
Okay, because you didn't grow up with this. If it doesn't have a smell at the party, I think it's GMO. I stay off it. Has to smell, yes, and the brown has to have brown. If I taste more stone, I'm calm. So I'm working on rice refinancing the market, and it's not encouraging right now. I don't want to sell my rice expensively when it gets here, but the cost of transport and the cost that is living in market is not encouraging. I found someone else.
The business is not charity.
That it is. No. My own, there's a way I sell my markets. It has to be affordable to the people so that I can do the dash. I don't want to buy rice and not be able to dash one bag at least. So it will work. There's that.
We'll find a way. A willing mind will find a way.
Yes, a willing mind. I found another person from the village. You know my village?
So I got my TVC Your View cup. Cotinima.
You're somebody.
So she said she calls it a welcome gift. Yeah. And I'm super grateful. I'm grateful that you are on the show today when I'm actually launching the cup. So this is it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
I remember some 5 years ago when I was doing the same thing. I was like,
when you got your
Cotinima.
Okay. So you are the plug for cup. Even I think you know that replaced my cup.
Freddie, Freddie does cup. And my right
Nima always reminds Freddie to release the cup and funds the process of.
I think the very first one.
Yeah, even when my cup broke, it was Nima that's plugged. So Nima, you said, you know, when you know we're doing something will go online. You will see what I said about you. Anyway, I'm grateful to God. I don't know. There's a story that we're going to probably talk about it. It's trended a bit, but because it affects my industry, I just cannot seem to just ignore it. The buildings that were demolished in Lekki, people coming online and whipping up sentiments, and nobody is asking about the facts. Oh, they demolished the houses. This is a landlord that has now become a squatter. And we're not talking about the fact that the houses were notified that it was on a waterway. And we have rain, we have flooding, we hold government accountable when things don't happen, but we're complaining when the things are happening. Are we ready for the change we're looking for?
Governance is not easy.
Let me quickly talk about the fact that we still want you to send your stories, your stories, your whatever experience you're going through, not lamenting, just share your story. And then we're hoping that from the conversation we get to have on Your View, you will learn some lessons, or probably your own experience would encourage many others on how to deal with the situation if they are going through the same. So please send your story to YourView at tvccommunications.tv. We'd like to use your story to encourage others. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll go through the front pages of the newspaper. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. We're starting off front page review today with The Nation. Major headline: Federal government proposes 26 trillion naira appropriation for next year. Lawmakers to get supplementary budget. FEC endorses $1.5 billion World Bank loan and 80 million for Ekiti Knowledge Zone. In other news, Akpabio sacked Abo. Clash over appeal court verdicts. Food. Fuel prices push inflation to 26.72%. In other news, Umahi Ogun cleared to fix and toll Abeokuta-Ota Road. Kogi West elders endorsed ADC candidate Abejide, and 2 Oshu pensioners slum during verification in Oshogbo. Ayedatiwa loses bid to stall impeachment. Now, what are we starting with? There's also the last story. Let me quickly read the headline. Empower beneficiaries to get pay backlog from next month. So that's who has that story?
I do.
Okay, please go ahead.
You want me to start with that? Okay, so the federal government has promised to begin the payment of 9-month backlog to Empower beneficiaries in November. We have Dr. Akindele Egbuwale, who is the National Program Manager, in a meeting with some beneficiaries. He made some, he also talked about the fact that Empower program has been renamed Renewed Hope Creation Program. So he says, as a result of temporary suspension of the program for thorough restructuring and forensic audit, funds have been recovered for the existing payment service providers, and plans have been put in place by the program to commence disbursement of the 9 months outstanding stipends to beneficiaries from November 2023. Then payments will also be carried out in installments. He says that about the change of name is in line with the new agenda of the president, the Renewed Hope agenda. So it will now be called Renewed Hope Job Creation Program. And also under the supervision of the Minister, Dr. Betta Edu, they will be expanded to target 5 million beneficiaries in 5 years, where 1 million youths will be absorbed each year under the graduate and non-graduate stream. So that's just basically what's going on with Empower.
So those beneficiaries that were complaining should just relax. They'll be getting their funds soon.
So Senator Elisha Abo of Adamawa was removed by the Court of Appeal yesterday. So the election petition had gone through and he won at the election petition. But the PDP candidate proceeded to the appeal court with an appeal, still questioning valid votes that he got at the election. So he said he had corrupt practice and non-compliance with the Electoral Act, and he had some overvoting. He had various polling units, alteration, false entries, alterations, cancellation of votes at several polling units, and unsigned voters. What's the final collation thing like? Some were unsigned that that formed these 71,000 votes that he got under his senatorial district. But the PDP candidate insists that he got 61,000 plus votes and they were all valid, and the Court of Appeal upheld that. But then Senator Abo now vex and say, I know the people behind this. And he points the wish that fly at night. It's you that fly at night that kill the baby in the morning, saying to the Senate president that Senator Godswill Akpabio is behind his sack, and that he knows that the next in line is Senator Odius Okalu, and that he has some people that he's fingering them out of the chambers, and that he is just a victim. Well, we'll see how that goes. I hope...
this finger-pointing drama.
But if Odius Okalu should now go,
then we know that there's a trend.
I don't want to believe that the Senate president has a say over the Court of Appeals decision.
Exactly. I think he should just focus on the case. Was there merit to the case? Was there merit to the judgment? Let's not because of personal grief and bias pull down the hallowed chambers that everybody is going to.
So when they call him, I hope he's able to back it up.
What happened to the 2 pensioners? You had a story?
No, I have the story on Oguncled to fix.
Okay.
On Abeokuta Highway. And so there were 9 roads that this article pointed out. But the Ogun State government had said that they want to construct the Lagos Abeokuta Ota Expressway by themselves. They don't want the federal government to take charge of it. And gratefully, this request was approved by the Minister of Works, Dave Umahi. And one of the things he said was that they're not going to receive funding for it, and they're not going to refund them once.
And they're okay with it?
Yes, they are okay with it. But what they're saying is that they would use tolls to get the cash back, as against just leaving the road open like that. And the government is okay with it. Ogun State also is very okay with it. So very soon, we'll see that there will be a construction of the Abeokuta Ota Highway.
All of us are waiting. I have people that live
small
in that
like
area.
this, small like this. I don't have teeth.
No, Nima, that place is not passable right now. Not passable at all.
It's been forever.
I wanted to take the story about fuel and food. Truth is, inflation is now officially 26.72%. But in the Nigerian people's pockets, it's like 300 and something percent. However, they have their metrics in which they use in determining these things, and they say that inflation has gone up based on forex and the fact that there's a fuel crisis, the forex removal, its impact on fuel subsidy, which was also removed, and the bandwagon effect on all cost of things going up. Nigerian Bureau of Statistics confirms this inflation, and we are now ranking among the world's top countries with terrible inflationary numbers. We're talking Venezuela. We are 26%. Venezuela is 360%.
Well,
That's like, we're not in that category. But Venezuela is not where we want to go to. We're not comparing ourselves with the worst of the world. Begging for food to eat. So, but Zimbabwe, as all those countries, but the thing is, we need to also take cognizance of the fact before we start going and sliding this far.
We are using 8 trillion of our 24 trillion budget, this proposed budget to
take care of loan. Moving on to the Punch, major headline: 2024 federal government plans 26 trillion naira budget debt servicing to gulp 8.25 trillion. That's what you're talking about, Nima. A lot of our money, the new budget is going into debt servicing. And in other news, this is the picture story, really bad. 20 Oshu pensioners suffer exhaustion amid crowdy verification. Palliatives: Nigerians condemn poor ration, lambast governors. Third mainland bridge now a death trap. Motorists lament. Akpabio behind my removal. We've taken that story from Senator Elisha Abo, who's alleging that federal government gets over $1.5 billion fresh World Bank AFDB, that's African Development Bank loans by December from Edu. Subsidy removal, Naira fall pushes food inflation specifically to 30.64%. Israeli Hamas, Putin demands ceasefire. Cardinal offers sell for hostages. All right, what are we going to take quickly before the break?
So can I quickly go with the pension?
I think let's just take a break. When we come back, we'll start with the stories in the Punch. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
What happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're to something. We will provide you into most of the beautiful, the black table.
Gentlemen, the first member, dancing queen of the 80s, non-conformist, Afrobeat historian in her right, and long-standing member of the multiple award-winning all-female show Your View, Omoyeni, Yeni, Anipulapo Kuti, aka YK Power! Ginger,
Take it.
Today we'll go here.
Hey, I don't read you.
Are you sure?
I'm not here to answer questions. I'm here to drink.
We're in trouble today.
Wait till your age.
I was close now.
I
said 1975.
He said 73. He said 75. Fellas wasn't even born till 75.
So will I drink half?
You go drink. Take. Make I help you. Russian.
No be half.
Which half? You will make me drink. I'll give you a hint.
Lights in no. Nepa.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. We're still doing front page review and we're talking about the Punch. So what story are we taking in the Punch?
I was going to take the picture story in the Punch because I experienced that having to travel with my dad. And 20 pensioners suffered exhaustion at the verification center in Oshogbo, where they came from other parts of Oshun for that verification. Sadly, 2 people were said to have died, but in the Punch I didn't get to that point. They complained about the slow pace of the exercise, they came in early. You know, having to do everything at one location creates this kind of problem. And I don't know why they have to do it every time. So they were suggesting decentralizing it, having centers closer in other areas in Oshun. Some of the pensioners who agreed to talk said they arrived at 7:30 in the morning and they left. Some left Ikpe to Ijesha, and you know they came in wheelchair. They fell from exhaustion, from heat, not having been attended to.
I don't think there's anything. I don't agree that verification is wrong. People die and they don't file. Dead state.
A verification is important.
Where we do it. They didn't have sitting area that is conducive. If they were comfortably seated, AC, places they were given refreshments.
Why are we traveling to one particular place for verification? That's one. Because most of them didn't work in Oshogbo. Some were teachers. They worked in other areas. That's one. The head of operations of Osun State Emergency Medical was verifying the fact that 20 people fell. So you're dealing with older people. There must be much friendlier way to do these things. Yes. I remember my dad. My father had a colleague who retired before him, and when he retired, he started taking her to the center. But when he died, she just was looking like this. That Alhaji Loma she gbogbo paperwork here. How am I going to go about it? So sometimes having one healthy person drive you, take
the government is losing a lot of money to people that have paying pension to people
that died. And the way they are going about it is not even helping.
Another story.
Yes, I have palliative. So residents, Nigerians across the nation, different states, are complaining about the quantity of palliative foodstuff that has been shared among beneficiaries. Some residents are saying, so they are complaining that they are getting inadequate rice, gari, beans, and monies. Others says they don't even get any palliatives at all. So the punch went around, the different states, asking different people. We have in Zamfara State where a few residents were saying that, CEO, we just got 2 mudus, which is like equivalent of 12 cups of maize. It was supposed to be rice.
12 milk cups.
Yes. And then when they went to the ward in charge of distributing it, they said, we got one bag. For the entire exactly, ward. And so we gave them. Then when they went to the federal government, to the state government got from federal government 5-trailer load of rice. And then they said the maize, that's the other grains, is from the state government. But still, what happened to it? So in between, what happened to...
There are lots of people now.
Well, we'll see. They need to give account. Then Delta States do the same story. Like, we just get very little amount of money and rice. We don't get like a complete bag. That will not be enough. I understand you said there's so many people, but if you're really giving palliative, is that enough? Yes, that enough palliative to cushion this?
You give an estate quarter bag of rice, and the man did a video and said, "You don't need. What would this do in this full estate?" But you have a story.
Yes, I have the Third Mainland Bridge story. This news has come up over and over again, and most times when we see stories like this, we would keep asking that why are they talking about it? And so we're also in the environment where it is that people just try to manage themselves.
Yeah,
but the Punch is always reporting this story, and in this particular instance, they're saying that motorists are the ones complaining that this issue is the potholes are just too bad, too many, causing traffic, wasting so much time on the road, right?
You have to slow down, and then you're shock absorber.
And the question really is, what does it take to fix the road? How long does it take to fix the road?
But also, they have to close. But
I've also seen reports where they said they would lock the bridge, they'll close down the bridge for like 2 Sundays.
Yes,
but that even wasn't done, because looking at the potholes, they're still there. Yes.
It's really bad. Especially when you're going inwards from Oworo to the island.
Absolutely.
It is worse. Coming back, not as bad, but going is really, really bad. Moving on to Nigerian Tribune, major headline. Resume or resign. Ondo PDP youth tell Akeredolu they have given him 72 hours as ultimatum, and they vow to sustain their protest. Court to hear Akeredolu Ayedetiwa application. In other news, NIPO staffers shut down head office in protest against the new CEO. Kogi West Elders Forum have endorsed Abejide as consensus governorship candidate, while EFCC ICPC chairman can't come from same zone, from Falano. Federal government begins destruction of $1.2 million worth of pangolin scales. Sure, Mariam will have that story.
I do.
In other news, you can't miss the picture story, the swearing in of Ayodele Olawande, Balarabe Lawal, and Jumaila Ibrahim taking oath as ministers of the Federal Republic before President Tinubu during the FEC meeting that held in the villa yesterday. Akpabio instigated with taking that story. Federal government projects 26 trillion naira for the 2024 budget, and buildings on drain channels. Lagos State government rules out compensation for owners. So sad. All right, what story?
Major story. So PDP youth in Ondo State have given the governor 24 hours to show face. They said that since he returned 32 days ago, he has not made any public appearance, but they've heard that he's continued to work, that he's not even in Ondo State. They're insisting that he's not in Ondo State. He's working from somewhere outside the state. They're saying if he's around, he should make come out to do a public appearance, let the people of Ondo know whether they have a governor or not. And if not, he should follow the constitution and do the needful.
Federal government has begun destruction of 3.99 tons of pangolin scales worth over $1.2 million in the international market. So this incineration was done by the government agency, National Environmental Standards and Regulations Agency. They said that they had been in court, for several years, and the arrested illegal traffickers for the contraband items. The NESRA Director General, Professor Ali Joro, said that the substantial destruction of these 6 parts of wildlife intended to be traded by traffickers was to send a warning to the international community of Nigeria's determination to fight all illegal scales of wild animal parts being preyed upon. He said that the scales are from 16,000 pangolins that were wasted by poachers, endangering the species. This species is very important to our environment. It's only found in Asia and Africa. And then to have, traffickers just going around capturing these animals and killing them just for their scales. So by this, you're sending a warning, and they're working on policies to make sure that when poachers are found like this and illegal smugglers are found like this, they are locked up without any option of fines,
So I want to take the story about, I bantered on this particular story, but we're getting the information from Tokumbo Wahab, who is the Honorable Commissioner for Water Resources, Environment and Water Resources in Lagos State. Is saying that no compensation will be paid to the owners of the houses that were demolished because, one, they didn't have building permits, they didn't have necessary documentation, that there was an estate that was built on the Ikota drainage channel. And this estate has led to massive flooding of 12 villages around the area. From investigation, if they just took out that particular estate, it would ease up the flow of water, and that was what they did. Enough notice was sent to them to move their buildings. When I read that line, I just laughed that, of course, they cannot move the buildings. But there was enough notice given to them prior to that time. They were also notified when construction was going on that they shouldn't have done construction. So the people, but there are two different people at play here. Developers were notified when construction was going on. They developed, sold, and put private citizens into crisis right now. They also said that 3 houses were demolished within VGC that were also on the canal. So waterways and the impact of flooding is causing the Lagos State Ministry of Environment to implement what will be termed harsh consequences for those that are encroached and are affecting the waterways.
I understand that we had to get to this, but what took them so long?
And the commissioner also said that instead of the government compensating them, that they are the ones that are supposed to compensate the government for constituting a nuisance.
Yes.
Oh, you have that story?
That was my story.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Who has okay, let's move on to
Vanguard.
Let's move on to Vanguard quickly. PDP, Labour Party, fire federal government as cost of food items drive inflation to 26.7%. Lagos issues 7-day quit notice to vehicles on bridges. I think that's a very important story we should take. Women Affairs Minister sue UN over management of donor funds. And Super Eagles beats 10-man Mambas 3-2.
So I have the Lagos Bridges story. So the special advisor to the governor on transportation, Honorable Giwa, has issued a warning, 7 days notice, which started yesterday, to all motors, drivers operating the Akpongbo, Idumota, Kata Bridges, Elegbeta, Ebutero, Ejalonibu, all of them should immediately, with urgency, vacate these areas as soon as possible before LASMA takes the enforcement to ensure zero tolerance of parking on those bridges.
Women Affairs Minister is, she said she's going to sue the UN over management of donor funds. She was speaking in a TV interview, and she says that the United Nations needs to publish monies collected from donors for the benefit of Nigerians in 30 days or risk a legal action.
I think that's interesting because a lot of money is donated to them, and they said the money tends to. I've watched. There's a conspiracy about how the international the money comes back to their economy. It doesn't come into the country that they're supposed to give the aid to. We're taking you to court. That's from our Minister for Women Affairs. That's what we can take on front page review for today. When we return, we have a very juicy topic. One of our veteran elders in the entertainment industry has said something, and we're going to be bantering about how that impacts on the youths of today. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table.
It doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw ether material slabbed, stroked, and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move weigh in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty, erected for a century of a century. Speak.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kelechi Amadi. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, my brother.
You love that intro, Abi?
It was great.
Okay,
Thank you.
We try like that.
Thank you.
Now my question, which I feel is a cheap question.
Oh, go ahead.
What does ISO stand for?
That is it. I think I'll drink.
No, you're joking.
I'm not joking.
Kelechi Amadi. No. Shay, you didn't whine me. You're whining me now.
I think I'll drink. Huh? No problem.
Okay.
I've always known this as ISO. I never bothered to know what it means. I know what it means, but I never bothered to know what the acronym is. Tell me the brand of camera that I use, so much so that I even became an ambassador. That's very easy. It's out there.
It's supposed to be,
yeah. I just said, look, I give you this one as a token of my appreciation.
Sony.
Drink!
Wait, I'm not done. You did not say final answer.
Final answer.
You did not ask me if that was my final answer.
You don't have any choice again. It's only
Nikon.
how many cameras do they have? My
Nikon.
friend to drink. I gave you a very easy something.
Nikon now.
We have exciting news for you. You asked for it and you got it. Your favorite breakfast show, Your View, will be going to 2 hours. We're going to have in-depth analysis of the newspaper review and more conversations on the hot topics. The ladies of Your View and I will be stirring up our guests to get in-depth into all the various topics, and you, our viewers, will have the opportunity to call in and share your views. After all, it's your view. Join us on Your View, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for a fantastic conversation. Don't miss it.
Thanks for staying with us. So, the executive music producer D1 Dayo Adedeye has berated women who feel that the front and the back, their bodies are all they are bringing to the table. During the interview, this popular podcast, Honest Bunch podcast, the music executive stated that most women feel that life is all about taking sexy photos that has their features on full display while waiting for men to slide into their DM. D1 further challenged women to come up with different skills they can offer, as opposed to the fact that sex can't last forever. What are your thoughts on this? Join the conversation by calling us on 0810-7641-679. That's 0810-7641-679. Or you can call us on 090-241-63440. So, I'm not a fan of generalization of women. I feel that when we use social media algorithm that feeds you what you like to generalize that women are all about their bodies. Because when I watched that interview, I was just like, what? You know, but Mariam, what was your first thought?
I was incensed. I was upset because of the generalization. And yes, I think everybody understands that. You know what? As a human being, male or female, you must be responsible for yourself and those around you. You must have something that you're doing with your hands, your brain. Definitely, we understand that. But in these conversations I hear quite often, especially from men these days, is that you generalize all women and make them think that all women, this is all that they think about showing their bodies, and so that men can slide into their DMs, that these are all women feel that it's only their bodies that they can bring to the table. But there are many young girls, women, who are doing much more than that. You know, they know that they have the bodies, but they are also brilliant. They are heads of departments. They're just doing amazingly. The younger ones that we keep calling out. I have a 24-year-old niece who is a banker, who graduated with a first class, who, she doesn't use an iPhone because she can't afford it, and she doesn't care. She's confident, she's bright, and there's so many more like her in church and places like that. You do not see that one because why? You are not attracted to those ones either. There's a way, those girls will tell you that because they don't have that shape, they don't have that body part that they put on display, they don't get the attention from you men, you successful men. You look for those ones who put everything on display. You validate it in the way that you reach out to them. The ones that are intelligent, the ones that want a relationship to get to know you first, who are not willing to just lay down, immediately, you don't want to talk to them. So when you talk about women displaying their body parts, why are they doing that? Who are they doing it for? Also talk about the people who are consuming that sort of content, the sort of people that are attracted to that sort of person. So it's a two-way street. It's not about just women, because I understand how we want to encourage girls to do better, to study, to work, but it's not only a girl problem. It's also on the opposite sex. What are you doing as well? What is it that you find attractive? What is it that you are validating?
So true.
Adena comes with a vast years of experience in media.
I'm an elder.
He's not joking. He was a former lawmaker in Ogun State, former appointee as well, I think, with the executive in Ogun State. He has seen it. We're small like this. They used to do the Keke and Kini Kondi one show that they have been. He's in this industry. He's talking from what he knows. It is a goal for girls who have aspired or are already in the industry to have sellable backs and sellable front. In fact, they are made to look a certain way. Now we are seeing different shapes and sizes of all these things online. Young girls are aspiring to see, okay, even if I cannot make it in school, if I just have this gives me an edge. And sadly, it does. We must admit. Because he that is talking, the side he did not take, I want to agree with Miriam, is that the consumer side. Who are those who are patronizing the girls whose what's that? Whose girls are, who are, looking that way? There are these influencers, about a group of them, that suddenly all traveled and came back looking all funny.
Not all funny.
They are all looking
a specific way.
It's not for everybody. I always say this thing that I cannot use an iPhone because I don't have the time for the English. That's how it is not for everybody. You have a certain body look, and you go and the person that is doing surgery did not see the way God made you to compliment it. You just go and put it, just paste it, and then you look funny. You look funny. You look in the mirror. You don't love how you came. We are not seeing enough of those videos. There was one that they were targeting online, and I hated the comments only for me to look. I was like, who did this body? That's the truth, because God in his mercies has perfected you, but you wanted something that will be outrageous, and you didn't get it.
So you're taking us to another topic. We're not talking about
I'm just saying that this is a pandemic. You see this thing he referred to? It's a pandemic, and if we're not careful, every young girl will aspire this way. Every young girl will aspire this way. It's getting so popular.
You are acknowledging the increase in the numbers.
Initially, it was just a few.
It is not generalized. It's not every woman.
Yes.
It's not all.
But we don't want. I don't want my daughter's generation to get to the point where it is over normalized, because we are beginning to normalize it. When it started, it used to be just few of them. Then a few top influencers went like, well, it's my body, it's not your money. We don't think about how this affects. We cannot let our young girls change their goal from being brilliant,
are you sure
successful
that
young girls.
We're not judging the majority by the minority on social media?
Sadly,
are you
some
sure?
are not even on social media.
Are you sure that we're not judging?
Have been seen by family members making a video of them and making ugly comments about how the surgery turned out, and they are not even any of these influencers. So it's gotten deep.
So for you think it's just a
yes
trend?
I think it should stop immediately.
So what was your initial opinion when you watched the video about D1's comments on women and the way they are body conscious, that this is what I bring to the table?
I think that what you see is what you find. What you look for is what you find. So for people that are already thinking of that, what you see on social media, what you think about is what you find. So for instance, I can just be having a random conversation with you. Somehow we'll realize that when we check our phones, we'll see that exact thing we're speaking about. So the consciousness already just brings it out. And I do not agree with the fact that women are all that or are all about that, because the people that I see, the people I look up to, the people that I follow on social media have sense, they are intelligent, they're not all that. So I look at the ladies of Your View, for instance, before I joined the show, and I'm like, these are really, really outstanding women. And when I go on social media, obviously those are the kind of people I see. So at the end of the day, I don't think it's a function of what it is that is happening in the world today. You will just find out that what you're looking for is what you would find. And then I also say that for people that have assets, big fronts, big back, right? So for people like us that don't have, that means we don't have anything to give in this life, right? But it should be more than that, obviously, and it is actually more than that. And I think that that narrative of preaching or saying that if you don't have the front or you don't have the back or it's not so attractive or looking in a certain way, you can't be that and much more. You can actually be other things and be successful at it also. So I do not agree with him at all.
So, but you know, there was something that Murayo said, and I think it's extremely important, that is there anything wrong with bringing this to the table? If this is what I have and I maintain this well, and I mean this, I mean like the full package of my body that God blessed me, and then I went on a surgical journey to enhance, and I am bringing this to the table, and I am giving the man peace of mind, and any boy or man that wanders my way would have pleasures forevermore from my body. Amen. Is that a problem if I am doing this? Because we have people that have used their body to get themselves on that pedestal on their journey. Kim was a sex tape that she used to blow. Toke also has done her body, and that body is a major selling tool. I'm not saying Toke doesn't have a sharp mind. She's doing business, podcast, emceeing, all of that. But the body was part of what she brought to the table. So are we also not talking about the fact that this can be enough to bring to the table as a woman? We'll take a break. When we come back, you can agree or disagree with me. Make a phone call to join the conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome pioneer Positive Force member, dancing queen of the 80s, non-conformist, Afrobeat historian in her right, and long-standing member of the multiple award-winning all-female show Your View, Omoyeni, Yeni, Anikulapo Kuti, aka YK Power! Ginger, today we'll go here.
Hey, I don't read you.
Are you sure?
I'm not here to answer questions, I'm here to drink.
gosh, we're in trouble today.
Wait till your age.
I was close now.
Eh?
I said 1975.
He said 73. He said 75. Fellas wasn't even born till 75.
So will I drink half?
You go drink. Take. Make I help you. Rush on.
No be half.
Which half? You will make me drink. I'll give you a hint.
Lights in no. Nepa Road. Nepa Road in Abeokuta.
First of all, my brain cannot memorize everything.
A big black bug.
A big black dog.
Bug. A big black bug.
Oh, sorry. A big.
It don't start.
Ọmọ fẹlá. Ọmọ Aníkúlá Pókùtì. Wọ́n rò pé kí ni kékeré yìí.
It's by Audison. It's not by Audison.
Come closer. A little bit more. Perfect. I have exciting news for you. You asked for it and you got it. Your favorite breakfast show, Your View, will be going to 2 hours. We're going to have in-depth analysis of the newspaper review and more conversations on the hot topics. The ladies of Your View and I will be stirring up our guests to get in-depth into all the various topics, and you, our viewers, will have the opportunity to call in and share your views. After all, it's your view.
Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. So we're discussing about what D1 Dayo Adeneye said on the Honest Bunch podcast, and the question that I posed to the ladies was, is it wrong for a woman to bring her body to the table?
So personally, I feel that you should. Your body is your body. You come with it, you know. I feel that's like low-hanging fruit. I feel that every human being should come with more. Develop yourself. It's not for anyone. It's for yourself. You will definitely be a happier, more fulfilled person. But people also have figured out the world. These worldly people, they figured out worldly desires. They know what people want. And so to sort of get a like a shoe in quickly or something. So they arrange themselves in such a way that it will catch their attention. You know, my husband says that we know what can catch your attention, but do you know what can keep it? There's a difference between what can catch your attention and what can keep it. So what can keep attention is who you are, your personality, your hard work, your personal development. So definitely all human beings should have that. But if you have decided as a person that this is what you are and what you want to bring to the table, you understand that it has an expiry date. But also, when I say that, a footballer understands that football career too has an expiry date. If you're a young 19-year-old footballer doing your football till you reach a certain... So everything has an expiry date. And everyone, no matter where it is that you find yourself, you're constantly building yourself. I do not like the fact... I don't encourage this body thing because of all the things that come with it, where you have this leeches, these men with no scruples who want to just use women's bodies. So that's why I will not encourage a woman to put herself on that sort of, should not make herself that sort of object, that you attract those sorts of people, because people like that really, they don't really want the best for you. They just want what they can grab from you and take from. So as a young girl, now I'm talking like as a young girl looking at the world, I'm getting a certain age, what sort of woman do I want to be? I see these girls looking a certain way, and I see all these men. I would say to her that, you know what, have much more than that. All these people, you're catching their attention, but after a while, there's so many more like you that will come, and then they'll move on. But what do you want for yourself? Do you want to last longer? You know, whatever it is that you're doing. So
I'll take your missed call, and I'll come back to the conversation from Nima's perspective. Yomi from Lokoja, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Go ahead, you're on live TV.
Okay, so pertaining the topic you introduced this morning, a nice one, but at the same time, I would like to go the path of Enema. The truth there is that most of the things going on these days, I can't even guarantee the next 10 or 15 years that we have more women that we can even present outside there. Because presently now, if you look at what is happening in the social media, we have most of these things outside social media. Not the issue of, most people are not even in social media. Most of these people are not even in social media. So please and please, we will not want to encourage this, because if you are to look at the way women are now these days, it's not good that we generalize. We cannot even generalize, but we still have the good ones there. But the way it's going now, we'll see that even most of our kids now, 17, 18, they are into all these things. And this is affecting society.
But who is encouraging it?
No, I'm not saying that we're encouraging it, but at the same time, what I'm saying is that the media.
What do you think is encouraging it? What do you think is encouraging it?
Actually, if you look at it from the parent side, that is from the family. Okay, I can hear you now. So what is encouraging mostly is the financial benefit from it.
Who is bringing in the financial benefits?
Those that are consuming the product.
Who are the people consuming the products?
Okay, if you have to ask me who are those consuming the product, these are the people making money from this same content. Most men, that is why when you look at it, most men don't even go for this.
Answer the questions.
Hello, no. What I'm trying to say now is that most men following these stuff, they don't settle with these people at the end of the day. They don't settle with them. They only make you use them to gather influence. After gathering influence, get some likes and comments and all that, they move on.
Okay,
that's the reality.
Thank you so much, Okoyemi.
So I wanted to say that I'm not a consumer of that kind of news, because to say such is to not know me. But if the way he pops up on news pages, blogs, and all of that, that one person has done this, one person has, been affected from doing it. And what exactly is the goal? Myself, YK, and Jumoke had this conversation. What is the goal behind the body? Beyond, first putting your leg in. You said something about keeping the attention. What exactly do you then do to keep the attention? Should we call it what it is? You were asking Adeyemi. Should we say what it is? At the back of it, there's something that is so negative. You don't want a young girl to think it, talk less of knowing it and practicing it. What exactly do you... If you say somebody is smart, she's intelligent, that is more than enough to go any length you want to go in life.
Let me take Kendi from the Shobo. We are rewarding it, and that's what I wanted him to get to. When something, if you don't want something to be encouraged,
but we just said now that it's because Dayo was the one consuming it. That's why we are not facing the reality that in the media and entertainment business in Nigeria now, there's a pandemic on that issue. And we cannot allow women just think that's the only thing you can bring.
I'm interesting. It's interesting that we got a call from Lokoja and from Oshogbo. Are these things happening over there as well, or you are only seeing it on social media?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, Kendi. Welcome.
Yeah, actually, it's so unfortunate that we've degraded the woman's folk to this level in our country, particularly. We don't have a situation where we respect the woman as a woman. Today, even in advertisements, women are placed in the front, almost naked. The media has its own fault. And sincerely, parents here are really not doing well. The models, they come today, once you see a woman dressed in a particular way, all of those followers want to copy. It shows that what youth that they see on TV do, they really want to do it out there too. So there's need for us to really watch it. Parents in particular, they allow their words today, allow children to take decisions on their own because of the fact that they want to give freedom of everything. The freedom is now being abused. We should have a situation where there will be discipline. We should return the discipline to our various homes.
But Kende, have you seen anybody within Osogbo with surgically enhanced body?
I do hear about it, but I've not seen one.
So this thing that we're saying is, thank you so much for calling. This thing that we're saying, oh, this thing is rampant. Are we not talking just about the cities and the celebrities? Maybe a few individuals doing it, not necessarily rampant. Because
it's not exactly cheap. It's not pure water. So you don't expect to see it.
The people that can afford it are not
Some
so
people
many.
break their necks to afford it. A young girl died on the table somewhere in Lagos here trying to get it at any cost.
So really, at the end of the day, when all of that body goes away, because we see pictures of our parents that were looking really hot, and now we look at them and we're like, mommy, what happened? Or daddy, what happened, right? So I'm just saying that this would happen eventually when it is that the body won't be there. But what will keep you in that relationship, what will keep you relevant as an individual is what you can bring to the table in terms of your intelligence and what you have to offer to the society away from your body, right? And I see that most times when we train our children, we're not saying, you're so nice, you're so fine, you're so fine. We're teaching them values. We're
So
teaching them character. We're teaching them other things aside their look. So those are the things that will make them stand in the society outside the way they look, right? But on the flip side, there's also the part of some parents. I've heard of some parents that will say that, you don't know what your mates they do. Right? Forcing those children to actually go all out, to use their bodies to provide for their families. So there are actually two sides to it also. Most times we think that parents are not supposed to be the ones influencing these kind of things, or we think that it's just a celebrity kind of gist.
Celebrity as parents.
Yes, but we see that even parents also, sometimes some parents, I'm not saying all parents, do all those things to encourage. Yes.
Darlington has called in from Kaduna. Good morning, Darlington. My first question is, have you seen anyone in Kaduna with surgically enhanced? There are plenty of it.
Not at all. I've not seen.
Not at all. He hasn't seen. Welcome to the show. Please contribute.
Yeah, good morning, first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
In fact, it gladdens my heart that I'm able to get you people today. Because I've been watching you for over between 5-7 years. And you, thank you so much. You always keep me at home. As a business person, I have to go through this program before I leave home. Thank you so much. You see what the topic you are discussing is something that is so much interesting, and it's something that I'll equally be feeling bad about. I won't see it. When they open phone, the first thing they will see that will pop up is things like this. And if there is a way the government can regulate some of those things, it will be better, because it's not really good, and most especially to we Nigerians. We may see them happening in the Western world, but they have a way of regulating some of those things. But over here, we can take it to extreme that could be detrimental. Look at HIV, for instance. Is it so spread the way in the Western world compared to the way they talk about it in Africa? So this should tell us how vulnerable, how we could be so exposed to them, and they could affect us adversely. That is my take.
Thank you so much, Darlington.
I was wondering, when Mr. Dai was talking, he was talking about, wasn't particularly talking about body type, right? Enhanced body parts, or I don't know if I missed that conversation.
Yes, he wasn't talking
He was talking about people who believe that just because you're female and you have those body parts, or you think you're hot, you think you're attractive, that's enough for you. So it's not necessarily also talking about those
surgically enhanced bodies.
But because we're talking about it, I also want to say that, it's sad because we have also objectified women who are naturally born this way.
And they are male.
We have prejudged them. Sure. Because they are born this way, they have that, and there's nothing, whatever they wear, that's their body, it would show. But you just assume that this person is up to no good. And these people also are constantly fighting that societal perception of them before you even get to know them. So this, and I don't know if you find it interesting that we have more male callers, more male conversations when we're talking about things like that. Yes, and I always say men just seem to always find the time to pick out these things, but without the things that without looking within and thinking and looking to themselves. You're saying you want government to be involved. How about the men involved? How about the men's desires and the things that they are consuming? How about talking to men themselves? How about when a young girl who is bright and intelligent comes to your office and another one who seems bodacious and has done her body and everything, follows the body and it follows the body, and that person and many others like her see over and over again how those ones are picked over her.
So bad. Okay, so let's take Miriam. She's called us on the show. Welcome to the show, Miriam. Calling from her papa. From one Miriam to another Miriam. Good morning.
Good morning. That was nice. Okay, so my question is, are men not tired of this narrative of what women bring to the table? Are they not tired? What do they want women to bring to the table? Every discussion, what do women bring to the table? What do women bring to the table? I will tell you, you choose to see what we do not bring to the table. But this man chose a young, beautiful girl with whom he will do drugs and do rounds and rounds of stupidity. This is because this is what they want. You have continually chosen this over the other one. So why are you crying? Why are you criticizing what you desire? Why are you angry? You know what gives me consolation is the fact that I love the new generation young girls. They know what you want, they give you what you want. Deal with it. If you must criticize it, stay away from it. And they will now choose to show you what they bring to the table. We bring much more to the table. Not everybody will bring us Okonjo Iweala. Not everybody will be whoever. We all must choose what we want to be. But the truth is that what sells more is what they are giving you. Deal with it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mariam. We're going to take a break, but I love what she said, and I think we should let everybody, like our viewers, let them digest it. There's a market for it, and we are consistently using one mouth to say we want you to bring other things to the table, but we are going to the table where they put their bodies. We are not eating from the table where they put their mind, and you're asking if we should bring more to the table than just their bodies. Let's do more. We'll take a break. When we come back, I'll hear what Nima has to say.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, right insights into most of your curiosities. Right here, within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table. So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports,
Ladies and gentlemen of the Nigeria, Benga Dainka, the first. OJ right here, 7 of 7, like you already know.
Benga right here, 7 of 7, like I'm beginning to know.
It's now time for the question.
You don't scare me one bit. Bata, I go drink. So.
Okay. So now one chance for Inter. My first question. Do you remember the names of the winners of that edition of StarQuest?
Of course I do.
Why do you?
And I hate myself for this. Because I have this question for you. Final question. No. Where outside Nigeria and what year? I think you're the only one that can be wicked.
I am thinking because I know back in the day.
Don't think. Answer my question quick. You are thinking too much. I don't like it.
The UK.
Final answer. Okay. I said, God, please, let me to perform outside Nigeria.
Wait.
And God gave me a show in Ghana. Drink, my friend, drink. I know.
I don't overthink this thing. See where I can.
Yes, you overthink them.
I would say you should catwalk.
Let's catwalk now. Where are we?
No, that's not catwalking.
That's
good
walking.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. So we from D1 to all the callers, there's a consistency in the trend that, all the women are doing this. Why are women doing this? We need to stop encouraging this. We're not addressing the fact that women are doing what they feel the men want. And
they know.
Naturally, the society has wired women to please men. We groom our women from when they are small as girls to understand that you'll be married, you need to be a good wife, you are going to be into the home and you would please a man, you will satisfy your man. And invariably, we grow into that space. So when you now start, there was a time it was light skin. Everybody went bleaching because we felt that if I'm lighter, I attract more men. Now it is curvaceous body. So I'm attracting more men or attracting good men, or I attract at least if I have the curves and I'm light skinned. So what's demanding this? It's the men, it's the society.
You are correct. I was going to say that before you took the call earlier, that, since when we were little, it's been a thing. And you hear what we accept as society from the songs. You hear Omo Pupa, Omo Pupa Lemife, as from the song. And so ladies in those days bleached till they destroyed their skin. Some people bleached till their veins.
Yes.
And they started to deal with old age cancers, they dealt with other health conditions because they didn't know that the skin was an organ. And they moved from there to these curvaceous bodies. You now hear young guys saying, I like your body, I like your something, describing, going all out to describe a woman like that. So the kind of woman, and every woman listening to it sort of hear the definition of how she should look. Growing up, I did not have front and back, and I hated the fact that compliments about my body, not because it didn't look good, though, because it was covered. For you to see through what I'm covering means that your mind is warped. To come and compliment that as opposed to complimenting the kind of conversations we're having didn't turn me on. It just attracts me. It didn't sit well with me. I felt you have to be pork-nosing too deep to go that level. And so we see it today in society where women, this is the new trend. We've done the bleach skin trend. We've gotten to the confidence where women no longer want to bleach the skin because of the consequence. Some women are thinking, no, let me not go this far. We are here now. And I don't want this to now stay with us permanently.
Because I remember I was like that too. When someone sees me and is complimenting my body, I feel like you're not, this does not even get to me. Like, how can you see me? You see me finish and all you are focusing on is to compliment my body. But now what we're doing more is people are focusing more on the compliments that come to their body. But social media likes and the comments, and people are going through depression just because they want to get social media validation.
Numbers are on those women who have these bodies, who sell their products. But you mentioned that women were raised to look a certain way to please their husbands.
Let me just quickly
that
take
one is
Alhaji
another
Kabir.
matter.
She has called from Iriakari Estate. Welcome to the show, Alhaji Kabir. Then we'll come to Toby.
Good morning, Software. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is the first time I'll be calling on your show.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Please, the conversation you guys discussed on this one. I watched the interview. What's it called?
D1.
The K1 did, and so that I should tell the fact. The guy is saying the truth. Look, I've worked in the corporate environment before, and also being a Muslim and to some extent I'm into a life. I understand a lot of things that is going on in the society. most of these people that were selling all these products on what's it called, on social media, forget about it. They are into something else. Forget about all these sales they were talking about. Look, you can only speak on the angle of where you know. This thing is more deeper than what you expect. I can tell you categorically. We are all men. We know what Ken is talking about. He understands the deep, the rot that is in it. That's why he said what he said. Yes, my generalize it, but what is the percentage of those who were doing good? And then what we said that okay, you have a sister that what's it called that doesn't like iPhone 8. What's the percentage of those that were outside? The young ones, the young ladies, go outside, especially because this legal thing. Go out, go and see what the ladies were, what they were involved into. You'll be amazed. You'll even be embarrassed as a lady. I'm telling you.
There are no majority do Alaji Kabir. It's not.
Thank you so much. Look, I said something. What is the percentage? I'm into life. I see things. I know things. You understand? The majority you're talking about, they're very minute. Those who are contented with whatever they have, they're very minute. Compared to what is going on. As you have a lady, you also have women. Yeah. Over the weekend I was with some of my friends, and what they were saying, I can't even believe what the society are going into. I can tell you, I'm praying for my children that look, God just guide us with the parents. That's just it. His life is more deeper than there's a more shit than what you guys what we're saying now. And it's because we've lost our value. We all run after money. Money. That is what is leading virtually everyone to do all the things. May God bless you guys. Thank you. Thank you,
Alaji Kabir. I want to hear from Toby because what he's saying is the same thing we were saying before. If you see a successful woman and she had the misfortune to be a very beautiful one, the assumption is she got that success because of her beauty. People don't realize the fact that she might have worked her way extremely hard without having to sacrifice her virtues and her values to get there. Yeah. And we generalize. And so he's saying in the corporate world, every beautiful woman slept her way to the top. What if she didn't? What if you are judging the entire world based on the women you have exposed yourself to? Because you might be in a different circle and the reality is totally different from what you are just saying, and it is still in the same country. Toby?
Agreeing with him would be maybe like a 50-50, but I think that for ladies who do not do such, they have to continuously prove themselves over and over again to even have a space on the table, even though they are sound enough. But they just do not want to do X, Y, Z, the other things that other people are doing. And I also do think that people generally are attracted by what they see, right? So I'll use myself as an example. Before I came on the show, I was always just very... I don't dress. So far I have sense, I'm okay. But you see, because of, by the virtue of what I do now, a lot of people now always expect that I look a certain way, I compose myself in a certain way. And that kind of like gives you the audience that you're looking for, even beyond the body. The way you look yourself would give you that audience, will make people listen to you and say, this person knows what she's saying, even if you don't really know what it is that you're saying, right? So I think that the looks is a major factor to understanding that people can actually get a certain level of command by just having that.
You dress how
you are
dressed how you're dressed.
I have a call. Funsho has called in from Iju, Lagos. I want to talk about Arnold Schwarzenegger and the body part, but let's hear from Funsho first. Funsho, welcome to the show. We have a lot of men calling in.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning, Funsho.
Now, this is my first time with a lot of men. They know this as a good weapon for them. Whatever they want to achieve, they use this to achieve it. And look at what is going on this time around in this global world now. They believe that you use what you have to achieve what you want. So, the majority of the ladies now, based on what they have, that men are well attracted to this. And they can use this to achieve what they want. So they use this as a stepping stone for anything they want to make in life. So all what I can just say about that for the government to eradicate all those things, it just has to start from home. What the parents have to do, it's a very good lesson from the parents to take very good, much attention on their children. Because without that, because there's a lot of, children they are very, very intelligent now, especially
but
this age.
Funsho, if you for any reason, I don't know if you're married, but if you were to date someone, you would first notice the person's look, right? And there is a look you would find attractive first, right?
Yes, yes.
It is after you've seen the look before you will now get to know how smart the person is, right?
If a man is looking at a beauty, he's not looking for a good wife. You have to study. That's why you can see all the days. Well, forefathers, before they get married, they wouldn't even see that lady who wants to marry. It is an intermediary that will be within them. That's study both sides. So the behavior, what is in exactly that family that you make sure to know you are marrying a good wife. It's not a beauty. So when you look into beauty, you are going to fail. You're being a failure. It's a lie. Because beauty is not what it takes to be a woman, a wife for you. So you are going to beauty, you are going to destroy your marriage. You have to take some characters and some...
Blame the government,
but not
take responsibility for the fact that you are the market.
And there's also another thing where a woman is married as well. Women in marriages also find that, you are intelligent and everything. You brought whatever needed to be brought to the table. You've had children, but the man is not feeling you anymore because you have let yourself go. Does it matter if she let herself go? After all, the intelligence is still there. Everything that you want on the table is there, but because she let herself go, you are running up and down the streets. What exactly do you want on the table?
Great problem and mystery.
Yakubu has called it on the show. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And Sister Sokwe, good morning. And then Sister Nima Miriam, and then our new co-host. Good morning. I partially disagree with the last caller. Partially. If you said that you want to marry and then you look away from looking at beauty, I don't think, personally, I will not take that. It is both of them, 50-50. Look at every one of you in that studio. Very beautiful ladies. Does that mean that you are not intelligent? You should be looking, in fact, Nima know what I'm saying. Why even thought about that? You look at the beauty if you want to marry. Because you cannot just marry a woman. At the end of the day, you will not look at, am I the one to marry this woman? You can, in fact, some other time, some other lady, you look at them, they are very looking beauty and other, but immediately they got married, they feel like, say, okay, I've already guessed where I'm going to, and then they drop all those things that they normally do before you meet them. And then moving on, the man will not looking at see that what is going on. You get it? But come to this very particular question. It is a society problem. That is the truth. I want to give a typical example here, and then I would not like to mention them because look, a Big Brother talk. You know what I'm talking about. They promote this thing.
Big Brother.
The small lady that came to this studio yesterday, I think, if I don't make mistake, it's Ikma. If I don't make mistake of her name, Ikma. How much did the people that organized that very particular program giving to Ikma? And then look at the Big Brother. How much are they giving to those guys? I can tell you for free.
100
the
million.
85% of people that are watching Big Brother, they were men. They made grown man.
Thank you so much, Yakub, for your honesty.
They were also fought there. They were voting and keeping voting, and then all this money that are given to those people because they are doing something that it is not necessary that, and then all the filmmakers as well will write.
It's breaking the table.
Thank you so much, Yakub. There's no more table. There's nothing to bring to the table because what she just said is what I've been waiting for us to be. Mariam and Yakub, the Mariam caller and Yakub have said what we've been saying, which is the society is reflecting our innermost desires and giving us what we are focusing on. And I'm so happy that it was objective enough to highlight the fact that you want the look and the intelligence. The two have to be together. Let's not wish away one because we want to
not be asking for good manners, be asking for how to raise children.
And then men, you also know when you go in your hunting, you know the person who is bringing body to the table. You know. You've brought body to the table. All of a sudden you remember, where's your personality? Where's your... Meanwhile, you pass personality, you pass intelligence, you pass smart, and you went straight for body, and you're digging in a... You know, you're looking for a bird in a river. Do you understand? So you chose something. If that is really not your choice, then go back and make a proper choice. But don't come and insist on the person who has decided his body I put on the table.
They have about 7 female staff. 6 of them are single. They are not done body. They are super smart. They are not interested in doing body.
Where are the men?
Where are the men chasing them down for the smartness they bring to the table?
That was what was reigning in those days.
And right now, he went into the celebrities. Do you know how many actors blew after they did their body? No one.
Yes.
Not be even
after
one.
We know many that after they were doing a few movies. That's the point. But as they did the body like this, every movie was featuring them. So your talent is no longer enough in the entertainment industry if you don't have the body. Stephanie Coker had to come online and say, the pressure is getting worse. The pressure is getting worse because I've not done body. Everybody that's done body is now, like, people are calling her out for not, where is your bum bum? You have not done it yet. What are you waiting for? Where is the hip? Where are the hips? Because she hasn't done it and she's in the entertainment industry. Because everybody now has a particular shape. There is a face, there is a shape.
They're all looking alike.
I'll come to you, Nima. And because I'll take Chema from Ikorodu. Chema, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning, ma.
Good morning.
God bless you. Based on what you people are commenting on, please, I am very grateful because you people want to make us understand that those ladies that are exposing their body in the name of money making, in the name of beauty, they are not beauty. If they are beauty, they should show themselves in the Lord as being beauty. Yes, because anybody that is beauty should have God in himself before you begin to claim beauty. So your beauty without God is nothing. They don't get anything in the money they are making with their body exposure. When they are exposing their body, they are exposing their image. That is one thing I understand.
Thank you so much, Chema. So, you know, we've had this topics a few times. We discuss it all the time. When somebody makes comments like this and it will trend, we'll talk about it and try to get people to live up to a different standard, you know, raise the expectation and awareness of the fact that we are beyond our bodies. But, you know, I mentioned I want to talk about Arnold Schwarzenegger because when he came into the scene, before I was born, he was all about his body. You know, he was a bodybuilder. He was virtually almost naked, barely wearing pants in most of those stuff, yeah. He was flaunting the body to become the Olympian. But he was able to migrate that into many other things. And sometimes we're judging people who are in a season of their life where all they are saying is their body to mean that that is all they can amount to. Because Arnold went from being all about his body, barely speaking English, to becoming the governor of the largest states economically in America. So when we judge the way we're judging, when we look at some women and say, it's just hips, it's front and back they're bringing to the table, we are packing all of them into a basket that we might be missing out on the other things that they can bring to the table.
My point here is not that that's all what women bring, that we talk about body. My point is that what we consume from the media, what we see on the brands, when you want to advertise freezer, you put one that have done hips. You not put the botched surgery ones or the ones that that one will stand by freezer, as if that's the person washing freezer or using freezers. You want to sell gas cooker, you put it there. I had a young girl that I had sent to school, she's in university, almost rounding up. And in 2021, when she came back, we're both just, you know, watching something on one of the blogs. And then they showed the party of one of these well-bodied ladies who just had their surgery. And she was like, that's the goal. My girl is smaller than Toby till today. But suddenly now, when I look at her status, everything changed. Even from that point, that year she turned 21, she went to rent a hotel. Somebody that is under my mentorship, being raised along with my daughter, went for her 21st birthday. And when I confronted the situation, she defended it in front of her mom, saying it was for the photos, that she needed a better scene. I was like, you cannot turn 21 from your mother's house and the photos will not be a better scene. That's the danger of putting it in the faces of young girls every day. You don't know how the mind works for everybody. I can have it to my heart. Because I was hoping that as I was raising her, was raising my girl, and you know, this is...
So that's why we shouldn't blame parents. They say the societal pressure is huge. There's a statistics has shown globally increase in suicide, in depression, and it's heavily linked with TikTok.
It is worse than the surgery. You know, I said it's not pure water. Everybody can afford it. The other one said, your hips look a bit smaller than yesterday. Say I was wearing hips yesterday.
So let's talk about social media regulation.
We need to do something.
In France, if you are an influencer and you want to influence anything, you will talk about the fact that your picture was doctored. You must put it there, that the picture is edited, because your face without filter is different from your face with filter. I have a small pimple on my face right now. This is my face without filter. If I do a Snapchat video, you won't see that pimple there anymore. So I'll now post that Snapchat video like it is my real face. That's not my real face.
Now start wishing
and I am using it to sell a skincare product. So now they did a legislation in France, legal, that if you are using a filtered picture, you can't use it to sell a skincare product. That is the kind of social media law that we should be pushing for. That if you have done your body, you can't say it was weight loss tea that you drank because you did surgery. It wasn't gym. You can't use it to market gym outfits because what you did was not gym, it was surgery. So when we put those kind of laws in place, that's false marketing. We put those laws in place, we are protecting the future generation, and that's the way I would like our leaders to think. Final words from you before we go into another very...
I think that women have a lot more things to offer beyond their bodies, and I would appreciate that men see us as that, as having more things to offer beyond our physical look and the assets that God actually gave us. Because it's a situation of you not even having any
young girls who are doing debates, who are doing quizzes, you know, intelligence-based sports. Push those people.
His view, yet spend all the time generalizing that it's the men that consume. Would you be okay to say your husbands buy these products? Truth is, the majority are lost to this pandemic. And Ogumola Emmanuel says, it's like answering an interviewer when you ask, why do you think you the perfect fit for this job? And you say, because you'll be punctual, you think you are entitled to the job, to get the job. Don't downplay yourselves with that statement. Okay, let me say they get curves and beauty, they are cheaper. Isaac says we should know that that you are the sum total of the choices you make. So if we are saying men, then we should be specific, because I hated it, and I just wanted the other lady that said after old age. Then what next? This is a lot for me to read. Your intellect matters. I think he was agreeing with Toby. He says he doesn't consume it. He says, not a consumer problem. Normal girls are getting married to successful men every day. These ladies are just trying hard to raise the bar.
Lala Ali says, I'm a curvy lady. I graduated as the valedictorian of my set. Instead of getting a congratulations from men, they asked me, so who did they give the best figure to?
Oh my God! She graduated as valedictorian, but because she's curvy, they said, "Who did they give the best figure to?" Like
I know. The previous tweets you read, all from men. I understand where they are coming from. They have their biases as well. But the truth is that in this world, we the women will tell you what is happening. You know, we will explain to you how people are just judged for their bodies. And then you never take accountability for the part that you play. Whether you like it or not, men, you know that you play such a huge role in how this beauty is perceived.
And
when you tell a young girl, you just
but
you don't get front, you don't get back.
As we round off, because we would always still come back to this topic. We need to keep on reshaping, which is what the show is about. Hear people's views and see different perspectives. It's important that I acknowledge the perspective of the fact that it might seem we're generalizing that all men are consuming this, because the truth is probably not all men are consuming it. There are a few men that would see it for how fake it is and look away immediately with no interest. And there are men that are 100% prioritizing intelligence, prioritizing the values and virtues of other things being brought to the table, even though they notice the beauty. So yes, men, I'm not saying all of you are the same, but just saying that there are a majority of you that are leading towards the curvy, beautiful side of us women. We thank you for loving our beauty, but we thank you more for loving our minds. We'll take a quick break. When we return, there's another topic that concerns us as women, as parents, and I'd love us to dig into it. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
So, curtains. What matter? Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women.
Thanks for staying with us. The Nigerian Senate has passed a bill. Well, the bill has passed the second reading. It's not passed totally yet. And this bill is going to be giving an option of fine, recommending fine or imprisonment for parents or guardians who default in enrolling their children in primary and junior secondary school. That's for education. The bill was proposed by Oji Kalu and is titled Compulsory Free Universal Basic Education Act of 2004. And what are your thoughts on this? How do you think this would impact education? There are many out of school children that are supposed to be in school, in primary school. Statistically, Nigeria has a huge number of children out of school. That's on one side. And on the other side is the fact that we drive on the streets within Lagos during school hours and we see children begging, hawking, and all that. So do you think that putting the option of fine or imprisonment might improve the disposition of parents and guardians in enrolling their children into primary and junior secondary school? Join the conversation and give us your thoughts by calling us on 0810-764-1679. We'd love to hear from you. You could also tweet to us, as I know that I think Nima was taking tweets and Toby was reading from YouTube. So we'd love to hear what you think. Mariam, I know that we both have this thing about education. We always take the stories about the number of out-of-school children. And do you think that this law would help in reducing that number? Or is just one of those laws that seem to be, it will shock us but might not be effective at the end of the day?
I'm even surprised. I thought we already had it, but so it's long overdue. I think it's a good policy. But, that's it. It's a good policy. And I say that's it because I know Nigeria. Policy is one thing. Implementation is another. And also, for a robust implementation of the policy, that there are things that need to be put in place. So if you're finding... okay, let me start properly. I think the policy is a welcome one. I think that all children should have access to education. I don't think any Nigerian child should be left behind. And I really thought that we already had something like that. But of course, it makes sense that we have all these children hawking, begging on the streets during school hours and school days, So as much as possible, let's have our children get free basic education. That's primary and secondary. This is done in many other countries. I think in America, in France, you will be fined, or in some countries, your child will be taken away from you and handed over to social services if it's found that your children are not in school. Now, having said that, now, we're on board, is that we are in Nigeria of today, as I know it, is that there's so many places across the country. We're not talking of just the cities, Lagos, Port Harcourt, Abuja. We're talking of far-flung states in the north or deep in the creeks of the Niger Delta. You don't have proper schools. You don't have teachers there, So what are we going to do to make sure, first of all, we need to also make sure that these schools, these structures, the infrastructure, personnel are, provided for so that our children can go to the school and not just go to a building or go to a structure, that they are getting quality education. Because I don't want it to be like, okay, we have built some structures, let's just push all these children there. The kind of education that they get, the teachers, do we have enough teachers? It does not matter what they get. So if we can put this proper infrastructure on ground, I think that this policy will go a long way in impacting not just our economy, but just really our development as a country.
You know, sometimes I think that Nigeria would like to do the things we know are difficult for us, and, you know, just do the words for it. I'm trying to remember, you know.
Talk shop.
Talk shop. I wonder how they would enforce
how would they imprison?
Because
how many
Miriam
people do they imprison?
Yeah, Miriam said it earlier. It was a policy. It's been a policy to compel, across states in every part of the country to compel parents to take their kids to school. But I see the only one that worked was the school feeding program in Osun. The moment parents knew, if I send the child to school, he will eat there. Most of the kids in Osun under Aregbe started going to school. And so in those days, you know, it's still happening today.
Yeah.
So we were at a panel recently, and I was saying to someone that a child who did not have a parent and was living with an auntie in the village is more disadvantaged than a disabled child with parents in the city. The person did not understand. I said, this one stands better chances of getting help. Even a public school here is like a abroad school. But if that child in the village, the auntie will justify the hawking. You will say it's helping the family economics. If they are going to farm, they will justify it. That child, if they now say, okay, because of school, let us send her to one auntie in the city, she's most likely going to get there and do house help jobs that will not be seen, or the auntie will be unable to check. So some of our realities must be captured in our laws. When we make this law, it looks good on the paper, but how implementable is it when we look at our realities?
So true, so true. Toby, what was your initial thoughts?
I think that it's a welcome development. I like the thoughts put behind it, but then the question would be implementation. So before my mom retired, she was a government principal in Lagos State. Oh. So I was able to see government schools principal in Lagos State. So I was able to see the overcrowdedness, the shortage of staff. My mom would come complain about this, complain about, you know, and then the government began to look into it. And then there was this division of schools into junior schools and senior schools. Then they built more buildings and all that. But with that, you will still find out that some of those children are sitting on the floor. Yeah. Why? Because even their parents cannot afford to even make a table and chair for them to sit on.
They're supposed to make table and chair.
So
we did.
The parents.
I did in secondary school.
I also did when I was in JS1. I brought my table and chair because it was a government school. Yes, we used to bring
our table. Okay. No, but not in the federal schools. I went to Unity School.
So all of that is even still existing today. Yes, and I think that how do we ensure implementation? How does the government ensure that children will actually stay in school? And for those that don't stay in school, how would they be fined? People that barely have food to eat, because if you have food to eat, if you're able to survive, you would naturally think of the next thing, which is educating your child so that you don't be in that same position in your old age, right? But they're unable to do this, and you would now say, is those people you want to fine or you want to send to prisons? Even thinking about the prisons, how many prisons do we have? Do we have adequate space to accommodate?
Overcrowded prisons.
You see? So I think that it is a lot more than just putting up that bill. There has to be a follow-through process that has to ensure that all these things are put in place so that this would actually be properly worked out.
I was even saying that if it was, we have built all these schools, so we have built all this, put all these facilities, we've employed all these teachers, and yet children are not coming to school. You know, it's a different conversation. Yeah. We have done our part, and Nigerian children are not coming to school, but nothing. So it's going to be quite tough.
I'm going to take Bosun from Bagada, but I have opinion on this. This one, I'm very, very opinionated. Bosun, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Thank you for having me. Just to answer the question of how do we implement it. Unfortunately, we do not have child. I don't know if we have that, or if we have the child services units in Nigeria.
We do. We do child services. We do have child. We have social service and child service.
Ministry of Youth Transport.
Yes.
So where I'm going at is that what happened to the children we have on the streets? I think that is where we should even start from. Children who are out of school, who are hawking the streets of Lagos, why are those units not picking up those children and finding out why they are not in school?
Yeah.
Chastise the parents and find out why those children are out of school. Because in the streets of Lagos, you see these children, there are lots of them. They are either begging on behalf of the parents or they are hawking on behalf of the parents.
Yeah.
So let's start from there.
Yes.
And let us know what the problem is exactly.
So thank you so much, Bosun. This I have this for me is a topic that touches that I'm very, very passionate about. Education and wealth creation are topics that touch me, and it's because we don't have a future without education. We don't have a future without education. Now, it might not be formal education in terms of going to the university, but basic education that you can speak, you can communicate, you can write is essential. So we're talking universal education, which is primary school, and yet we have a huge number. This is junior secondary school and primary school is what they're making this law about. I do not think that this law is practical. I do not think it can be implemented. I think this is a law that if it gets passed, it will be dead on arrival. It will be one of those laws that we just pile up and gather dust because we're not addressing the issues. We have parents who cannot eat, parents who cannot pay rent, parents who have like 6, 7, 8 children in a one-room apartment, and we're not discussing family planning to reduce the number of children they're going to have. While they're still going to keep on getting children because children are their way to earn money. You will see them on the streets of Lagos begging, in Ibadan begging. At least I know I've been fed in schools. Rather than putting people in prison or putting fines on them while solving their problem, feed them in schools. We are saying create incentives that the punishment for me would be tell the parents to come and be sweeping the schools. Let the parents be, the punishment should not be imprisonment or paying fines. Sweep the schools, show up in the school and paint the wall, or community service within, cut the grass in the school. Do something to make the school better and hit the wooden, we use wooden furniture in most of the schools. What is there in creating chairs in schools? Like, it's not rocket science for the schools to have chairs.
It's a large procurement
issue. A local person, I can do chair. We buy the wood. My dad is a carpenter, so maybe I'm able to do that. But people grow up. If you look at developed countries, people do their chairs in their houses by themselves because they had to evolve into doing it. So why are we waiting until the government produces chairs? Find them and say they should gather wood and repair all the chairs inside the school. Let's do things that would have immediate impact within the environment and not just laws that will make it look like we are working.
I'll be forced to agree with you to some extent. You know, we have to at some point punish parents. For a state like Lagos, for instance, where we know that, I know Lagos State has an adult education school in Agboju, where they opened that school under the BRF administration just because there were too many children used as maids, and their employers were saying they've grown beyond primary school ages. So that school was built with a full AC crèche. You need to go to that place in Agboju, fully equipped. You come if you like, get belly out of school. If you like, come with your back pass and everything. And even within that school, you still have kids who start today, leave tomorrow. They don't finish up. As in, everything has been provided to make it easier for you to get this education. That because you need that education. But you see them, they're still on the streets in Old Ojo Road, where the same school is. Also, the primary schools in Lagos State, we have some in the inner cities, city centers, where they are, you know, more than equipped. But how full are they? Because I know the ones in the exterior that we know. I know for a fact one that needs to be supervised weekly. They have done everything. The structure is looking good. The classes, I don't know what's in I can go. I didn't like the way the kids were just. One teacher was just sitting in the corner of the class with one book, minding her business, and the kids were just helping themselves. So and it was not break time. So they are doing a lot, but the adults in this equation, we need to do better. Need to be more responsible. I'll come to you, Toby. Let's take a call from Agboju. You just gave an example of what is happening in Agboju, and Victor has called in from Agboju. Welcome to the show. Agbado, sorry, they say it's not Agboju, it's Agbado. Similar.
Good morning.
Good morning, welcome to the show.
Yeah, my name is Victor.
You're live, welcome to the show, good morning.
Yeah, calling from Agbado. I appreciate you people, I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Talking about the children on the street. Talking about children on the street, I was once on the street. Then, in the days of Governor Buba Mawa, I fell at Ukodi. I know what children pass through. I hug before I go to school, and I come back, I return to the school as well. But thank God for where we are today. What about these children on the street? Some are caused by their parents. Some have met a girl she refused to go back home because of the money she lost. I asked how much is it. He said it's 3,005 there at Dokbemu. She was crying. I said, where are you trekking from? He said he trekked all the way from County, Ogba, down to Dokbemu to sell. And that she cannot go home because the auntie lost money. I have to give her, I gave her 5,000. I told her the remaining thing, you want to sell, you sell, you want to throw away, but make sure you return back to us. What am I trying to say? Most of these people will bring their cousins, their niece, that they promise the poor parents over there in the village.
So what I'm hearing me say is that...
I need to hear from Toby. I'll come to you.
I think these issues are deep-seated. It is just unfortunate that we're taking it from the surface. I mean, the law. The law is taking it from the surface. So I care of some instances also where some men will say that they're not training their female children. They're not sending them to school because they would end up marrying a man. So I have somebody within my reach that says that a father said he's not training his 5 girls. He has 2 boys. They are sent the 2 boys to school. Yes, here.
I hope he's not a Muslim.
In this,
I hope he's not a Muslim.
In this day and age, and so those girls, 5 girls, have to serve as helps to send themselves to school. They have 3 of them that finished school. 2 of them are still pending to have gone to school. And then you also hear some children saying, I'm not going to school. I'm not interested in going to school. Let me just learn a trade, right? So that also brings an option of vocational studies.
But you would know how to read and write.
Exactly. You would even know how to read and write before you learn a skill. Even tailoring, that a lot of people are saying tailoring. You have to know how to measure, how to count numbers and all that. So education cannot be overemphasized. Yes. It is important in the development of a nation.
Just to clarify, because I had asked that, I hope he's not a Muslim. It is a sin in Islam to have girls. Because I hear Muslims say it all the time. To have girls and not educate them. Education in any form is important to a girl child in Islam. It is a short, quick way to paradise, to educate a girl child. 2 is Jannah. That's the sunnah of the Prophet. It is a saying of the Prophet. And I hear it all the time. When people will say, I cannot educate a girl child. Yes. We were 4. My father do everything. Because he emphasized that saying of the Prophet all the time, that this is my fastest way to Jannah. I hope that
are you sure a lot of Muslims know?
I don't know where this is coming from, because that's how they will say one thing. They will say it is Islam, but it's culture.
This person is Muslim.
I'm just saying. I wanted to use it as to start this conversation. Yes. Some people, they are interpreting their cultures into the religion, and it is not religion.
Honestly, I feel so sad that we're virtually out of time on this particular topic, but we will still revisit it because we know that this law remains in the House of Assembly. They have proposed a fine of 2,000 naira. They want to change that figure to 50,000, 20,000 or 50,000 if you're caught out of school. So, and that we know there's a racket. There's a racket of people that bring children to the cities to monetize their begging and collect money from them every night. All of those need to be addressed, but that's all we can take on the show today. Thank you so much for joining us. Continue the conversation online, and see you all tomorrow. Bye.